Hi, so these are the ABRSM Grade 2 scales and arpeggios. Okay, so let's go straight into it. Your first three scales are going to be fingers only, tirando or arpeggiando. So it's going to be free stroke or rest stroke, up to you. There'll be 56 beats per minute with the long tonic. So our first scales are D major. So we are starting in the second position. So what that would mean is that your index finger is going to start on the second fret. So our first note, the D major, is D on the open D string. We then come to the second fret, which is your E note. We come to the fourth fret for your F sharp. Use your third finger to fret that note. And then our G on the fifth fret. And we'll use our fourth finger for that. Then coming down to the G string, we have our A on the second fret. We have our B note on the fourth fret. We then come down again to the B string. We're going to have our C sharp on the second fret. And then finally our D on the third fret. Okay, and let's do that with the metronome, if I can get it on. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Excellent stuff. Our next scales are our A minor melodic. So for this one, back to position 1. We are starting with our middle finger on the A note on the G string. That's the second fret. We then have our open B. We then have our C note on the B string. That'll be your first fret. We then come to our D note. That's going to be the third fret. I use my fourth finger for this. And then we then come down to our open E. We then have a position change. We come up to position 2 with F sharp on the second fret. Your third finger comes to the G sharp, which is on the fourth fret. And then finally our pinky on the fifth fret for the A note. That's it ascending, so going upwards. Descending, we're going to flatten the G sharp and the F sharp. So we're going to flatten the 6th and 7th. So what you do, we're finished on the A there, haven't we? So we'll come into position 1 again, and your fourth finger is going to come to the third fret for your G. We then have our first finger come to the F, our open E, up to the B string again, the D note on the third fret, our C note on the first fret, our open B, and then finally our A on the G string, that's the second fret. Let's hit that metronome again. 3, 4, and. Cool. So our next one is our D minor harmonic. So this was your starting position 2 again. We have our open D. Second fret on the D, that's your E note. Third fret on the D, that's your F. Then our fourth finger coming to the G note on the fifth fret. Coming down the string now, we have A on the second fret. B flat, which is the third fret. Down the string again, we have C sharp, second fret. And then finally D on the third. And again, with a metronome. Cool. Okay, the next two scales are going to be 112 beats per minute. They're going to be all crotchets. It's just going to go straight up and down the scale. So Oh, they're both using our thumb as well, and it's going to be 3-stroke. So our first one, C major, starts in position 2. So that's 2nd fret. You will use your middle finger to play the C note on the A string, which is your 3rd fret. We then have an open D, 2nd fret on the D for the E note, F, which is going to be our 3rd fret. Our 4th finger again comes to the G on the 5th fret. Down a string now we have our A, open A on the 2nd. Sorry, not our open A, sorry. 2nd fret for the A note. Our 3rd finger comes to the 4th fret now, that's your B. And then finally our pinky on the C, which is going to be the 5th fret. Again, so let's start with our metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent stuff. Okay, so your next scale is a chromatic scale over 1 octave, and it's starting on the A, position 1 as well. So on the A string you have your open A, B flat, or A sharp I suppose, on the 1st fret. Our middle finger is going to play the B, 2nd fret, C, 3rd fret, C sharp on the 4th. On the D string, you're going to do the exact same fingering and exact same frets. So you have your open D, D sharp on the 1st fret, E on the 2nd, F on the 3rd, and F sharp on the 4th. Coming down a string to your G string now, you have your open G, 1st fret for your G sharp, and then finally our A on the 2nd fret. Okay, and with the metronome for that one as well. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we have our arpeggios. So these are going to be at 42 beats per minute. And it's at 6/8 timing. So your first one, C major, is going to use your thumb for all the notes, okay? Starting in position 2, you have C, which is the A string on the 3rd fret. Then have our first finger coming to the E on the D string, which is your 2nd fret. We then have an open G, then your pinky to the C note on the G string, which is your 5th fret. Let's start with our metronome. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, for your D major arpeggio, 2nd position again. We have D, our open D with our thumb. F sharp, so that's your 4th fret. That's my 3rd finger. Also pick that with your thumb. Come down to the G string, the A note on the 2nd fret, picked with my 1st finger. Then we have our D note and the string underneath, which is your 3rd fret. I'm going to pick that with my middle finger. And again with a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, our A minor arpeggio. This is going to be just using your fingers to play this one, so no thumb. Starting in position 1, we have A on the 2nd fret on the G string. We then have C on the B string, that's underneath. On the 1st fret, I'm using my middle finger to pick this one. We then have our open E. I use my 3rd finger to pick that one. Our last note is our A. So for that one, we're going to come into position 2, and our pinky is going to play the 5th fret on the E string. Your middle finger to pick that one. Again, with our super duper metronome. My lights just went out. one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your last one for this scale is our D major. D minor. Starting in the 2nd fret again, second position. Finger wise, it's going to be the same as your D major with your picking hand. So we're going to start with open D. Our F, that's the 3rd fret on the D string. We then have our A, the string underneath in the 2nd fret. Then we have our D, which is the 3rd fret on the B string. And that's that. So let's do that metronome as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's all of our grade 2 scales and arpeggios. Have a nice day.